What's going on? John Bossy here covering the 2013 NPC Utah August show, and I'm here with the star guest poser, Ricky Tricky Jackson. Tricky's actually getting ready for the Mr. Olympia in Vegas coming up in, we got like 6 weeks.
Absolutely, 6 weeks, exactly, yep.
We'll be competing in the 212 class, hoping to do some damage there, and just going to reflect with us a little bit about kind of getting started in bodybuilding, coming up the ranks. He's competed in several different organizations. Just recap your journey for us and kind of tell us, what it takes to get to this level.
Well, I don't think it's any surprise to anybody. Bodybuilding, in my opinion, is one of the toughest sports in the world. It takes a lot of discipline, a lot of hard work, day in, day out in the gym, week to week, month to month, year to year to make your gains. And then obviously, one of the hardest parts is going to be the diet. Most sports don't have to do any type of a diet as hard and strenuous as we do. So it was a learning process for me early in my career to be able to learn my body and learn the best diet techniques for me and that type of thing. So one of the things I always tell people early on in the sport is to really learn your body and really learn your diet. It's not necessarily a bad thing to get with somebody that's been there and has some success before you to make your path a little bit easier.
So they're gonna shorten the learning curve, but there's still a learning curve.
Absolutely. I mean, I can give advice and guidance to people, and actually that's what I do. I'm a personal trainer. I run my own business. I do a lot of contest prep for people from amateurs to even pros. I work with a lot of pros on the circuit right now. But, you can guide people and give people a template, but at the end of the day, that person really still needs to know their body because you're going to have to determine what works best for that person because what works best for me may not work best for you. So, when it comes to, getting advice from people, you try things, but you got to figure out what works best for you.
Sure. All right, so looking ahead to the Mr. Olympia, who's your competition you're looking out for, and what are your expectations going into the show?
There is no competition. My expectation is to win. No, I mean, the 212 is a very tough class, very competitive. I've said this before, I'll say it again, any given day, any one of those guys can beat each other, and we've done that. It's been flipping around from show to show. Obviously, the person that beats Flex Lewis, he's the current reigning 212 champion. We're going to have a tough battle in there with guys like Jose Raymond. You got Kevin English returning. You got David Henry, who I think has one of the greatest physiques in the 212 division. Got Sister Nino. Mark Dugdale's back, who's looking really good. And then, I expect to be one of those guys in that hunt. I was top 6 last year. My goal is top 3 this year. And I've put on some size and kept my condition. And the plan is to definitely be a threat for that top 3 on the 212 stage this year.
Gotcha, very good. You mentioned Mark Dugdale and Jose Raymond, I think fellow MHP athletes, correct?
No, actually, Mark Dugdale's not a MHP athlete. Jose is an MHP athlete. It's funny you mentioned that. We actually have another athlete, Craig Richardson, that's been toying around with the idea of coming down to the 212. Not 100% sure if he is going to stay there or not, though. I think he has a tough time making that journey down in Chicago, and I think he may end up staying in the open. But another fellow MHP athlete. Shouts out to MHP. I wouldn't be here without him, as well as my other sponsor, Liquid Sun Race. But shameless plugs. Yeah, sure. But yeah, I mean, me and Jose was 4th last year. He won the Toronto earlier in the year. I think he also won New York Pro, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. But I was off in Toronto. Back was against the wall in Chicago. I did what I needed to do. People were very impressed with the package that I bought. My plan is to come in about 2 or 3 pounds fuller and about 5% drier. So I think I've got the formula figured out for what I need to do. So it's funny because we're talking about learning your body and everything. And as I've gotten older and I've been in the sport, each year I'm at that point now where what I did last year doesn't exactly work for me this year. So I have to, change things a little bit. And sometimes it takes a show or 2 to get it right. But I've got that show that got it right, and that was Chicago. So Olympia's going to be even better.
Awesome. Well, while we're on the topic of MHP, let's close there. Just some tips to people. How do you go about landing a sponsorship like that? Obviously, a major brand, something that everyone would love to be sponsored by a company like MHP. We see you now where you're at now, and a lot of people probably forget about climbing the ladder, and it wasn't always that way. So how does one go about climbing the ladder, getting the exposure, and getting the sponsorship?
It's a funny story about how I got with MHP. I've actually been with them for somewhere between 12 and 15 years. I've actually lost count. I've been with them so long. But, they've taken good care of me. I actually, early in my career, competed in the Team Universe, a couple natural organizations. And I actually did a contest that they had in one of the magazines where why you would want to be a natural bodybuilder. And I actually won the contest. And in reward for the win, I got a contract with them. And so I think because of the success I've had year in, year out, they've kept me on board. So, but I mean, I had to be looking for opportunities like that to be able to get that chance to be with them. So, at the end of the day, what you got to do is you got to put yourself out there. You can't sit back and wait for somebody to come see you. It's like a job. If you want to get a job, you're looking in the classifieds or you're sending resumes out and you're trying to find the job. It's the same thing with endorsement. You got to try to find somebody that wants you, and you got to sell yourself just like you sell yourself for a job. So it's no different in this industry. You got to get yourself out there. And the fortunate thing for athletes nowadays is they got social media. Early in my career, you didn't have that. So I mean, you can put together a file and send people an email. You got your Facebook. You can send people to Facebook. I tell people right now, if you're new to the sport, what sells you is one's going to be pictures. You got to get any opportunity you're in shape, get as many professional pictures as you can. And I tell people early in the career to go ahead and start a website because as you build fans, you want to have somewhere for them to come to learn more about you and see what you're doing. And then obviously Facebook, Twitter, and all these other new things. And I'm an old school guy, so I'm just starting to really get into that. I am on Facebook under Ricky Jackson, so check me out. But yeah, social media is a great way to get your name out there, get your face out there, but you got to get these things in the company's hands to let them know you're looking, let them know you're willing to start from the bottom and work your way up. That's another thing, be humble and don't say, well, I got to have a $50,000 contract. My first contract was actually a supplement trade out. They gave me supplements. I think they take care. They paid for my expenses for shows, and I got supplements. That was it, and it worked up to eventually a financial contract. But you got to be willing to get your foot in the door.
Definitely. Very good advice. It's all about the hustle and nothing comes free. Till next time, look for Ricky Tricky Jackson at the 2013 Mr. Olympia in Vegas. He'll be on stage with the other 212 competitors looking to do some damage. Till next time, John Bossier at the 2013 NPC Utah August show. Thanks for watching.